Hello everyone, it's Kissy. Welcome to my channel. I decided to come to the park today for a nice walk and share the view. So I wanted to talk about learning and what does it actually mean to learn. So from my personal experience and probably how it's defined, I'm not sure. I'm not looking for textbook definitions, more so an understanding, a real understanding of what it is to learn. So, to learn something is to be able to follow and understand, comprehend a process from beginning to end and all of the parts within. That's when you can say you've learned something. So when it comes to like math, when it comes to reading, oh look how cute. When it comes to math, hi guys. Aww. Hi. Oh, they didn't jump out. That's good. Usually when I walk by, they'll all throw themselves in the lake. How cute are they? Okay, let me stop. All right, so, oh, it's like I heard you. All right, so it's about really understanding a process. So an example, like when I was in school, learning, let's say algebra. You know, as a child, you work up to algebra. Obviously, you don't just go straight into algebra at any point. You have to cognitively understand the primary basics: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. When you understand that foundation fully, then the next level can be introduced and understanding those concepts on a wider scale. So, why is that important in terms of our ability to learn? Now, most people don't really want to learn. Most people don't like being taught. Most people don't care for um, elevating their understanding of their life or of their surroundings, their relationships, their purpose, or talents, their technical skills, whatever. It becomes kind of an issue when individuals decide, I can't do this, I can't do that, all because of a belief that they have about how they can't learn or about how they don't want to learn. That's the kicker. The belief of not wanting to learn is developed very early in childhood. It's a bad experience. One bad teacher, one bad lecture, or you know what I mean? Like, have you ever like been taught by someone or like asked a question, excuse me, I don't know how to do this, I don't understand this, and they try to explain it but you still don't get it, and you still don't get it, but because you're too embarrassed to say I still don't get it, and then you can see that the person is frustrated or upset, so you just pretend to get it. Or if you don't pretend to get it, then you just say, okay, whatever, okay, thanks, and go about and just give up and quit and say, forget it, I'm not going to bother with this. So before you can learn a process, you have to be open to wanting to learn a process. You have to have interest in really understanding the step by step of like the bigger picture, right? So most people will be like, what's the point of learning algebra? I'm not going to use that in real life. Now, I may not give the best examples, but it's part of critical thinking. And that's the whole point. Can you critically think? So I feel that most people, to learn, the best way to learn is to dive into the experience. And when you dive into the experience, you're able to figure it out, critically think about what you're doing step by step, because it's like somebody tells you what the big picture is. Okay, install this engine in this car. If you don't even know what an engine is, if you don't even know the workings of a car or the body of a car, how are you going to know how to install it? You don't even know the tools it takes. So it's a matter of really, okay, what's the goal? What do you want to learn? What do you think will be the next step for your evolution? Whatever that is. It could be in any career. It could be in any education-wise. It could be any subject that you're just interested in. It could be diving into yourself. Okay, what's the next thing I need to understand about me? Where am I flawed in how I operate in real life? What doesn't give me good results? How can I improve them? And that is in anything. So when you can get to that question, where am I getting bad results and how can I effectively create good results? By trial and error, unfortunately. And also, I mean, you could always, what do they say? You could always kind of cheat your way through and get the quick answer from somebody that knows. You can get the answers and supply those answers sufficiently to get the goal. But if you don't understand the process, you'll never be able to reverse engineer it to understand issues that come up. Oh wow, a balloon? Okay, so you make sure you're learning from someone that has patience and someone that can give you the big picture first. All right, this is the goal. This is how this works. Oh, I have a perfect example. I went to a chiropractor because I had sciatica issue. And so this chiropractor, you could tell he's very passionate about what he does. He really loves not just what he does, but he loves educating. And I love people like that. So this man has these charts. He has all these visuals. Visuals are great, but he doesn't bore you with the unnecessary and bragging about anything. It's a matter of, okay, look, this is where you are. This is what's going on. This is how this works, and this is how this happens. And so the point is, this is what we need to rectify in order to create this balance. Simple instructions, simple understanding of the whole, and a simple plan to effectively accomplish getting to that goal. Oh, look how nice. Oh, these are so cute. I love that. Okay. All right. Anywho, where was I? Oh yeah. So it's getting that plan, like being able to see the big picture. Like, hey, look, this is all we need you to understand. We need you to understand how to get to this part here. And when you get to this part here, you'll understand the next, So it's like, so you don't overwhelm yourself. Make the goals like step 1, step 2. The goal is to get to step 10, for example. But you don't teach a person to get to step 10 right away. You tell them, this is where we're going, step 10. But this is what I need you to learn first, step 1. And then be really clear about why step 1 is valuable, why step 1 is necessary, why step 1 is the first thing we're doing. Because once you understand that, then you built that foundation. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. Okay, good. Next. All right. Now we're building upon it. And you keep going till you get to step 10. By the time step 10 comes around, full circle, you're able to say, I understand this process fully. But you'll have learning environments that don't exactly, what is that? I want to see what that is. What kind of fruit is this? Is that a fruit? Ooh. Okay, all right. Well, I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna look into it. Okay, maybe it's these, just bigger. Are those tomatoes? They look like tomatoes. Well, maybe they're not. I don't know. They look like baby tomatoes. Holy crap. All right, anyway. Back to where we were. So I was contemplating that because my children, my eldest children, are not fans of our education system. They were never fully present in class. They never really had much of an interest in. It's like where you can see other kids are like very goal-oriented. Mine didn't have that at all. They're very individualistic in that way. And as a parent, it's like, how do I get them to conform to society's standards and expectations without diminishing their individuality, without making them feel inadequate or incapable? Because you got to look at what their genuine interests are. When someone shows no interest in education from a very early age, it's almost like either that's a very innate program ingrained that, I mean, it would require them to look deeply within themselves as adults. But as a parent, I can't dive deep into all of that. All I can do is support who they are and support how they learn and do my best to figure out ways to get them to understand what they should be able to understand at the point that they're in. Like what, let's say in math or whatever studies they're doing. It's like, okay, at this grade level, this is what you're supposed to know. So let's get you there. And the reason you need to know this is because from here, you'll be able to do all of that. So I think it's a matter of, don't teach your kid what to think. You teach them how to think. And how to think is to think critically. And how to get someone to think critically is you put them in situational things. Like, don't make math about the numbers so much as make it experiential. You're walking with your 3 friends to go visit one friend. I'm so terrible at examples, but I'll give them anyway. So, the example is I'm obviously not going to give the terrible example I was about to give, but you get the drift. I would hope that the matter is make it make sense in the physical by using real life examples. I used to, like when they were really small, I used to use Skittles to, for counting and categorizing. How many purples, how many reds, and if you have 3 purples and 2 reds, how many in total? How many purples? How many? You break it down into little morsels of understanding so that the mind can critically think, but they can't critically think unless they have an actual physical they have to be able to see it in the physical and experience it. That's what gets their brain critically thinking. So anyway, I think that's the message for now. Did I have another message? Oh, yes, I sure did. I sure did. The other message is in regards to when I do my readings, I don't really care too much to focus on the karmic as a person, more so as an energy, karmic energies, not so much karmic people. And the reason why is because when you talk about karmic people, you're taking, you're personalizing it. And so obviously your biases start to show up, your judgment starts to show up, your condemnation comes out. And when you realize those karmic energies come from within you first, you called that experience to you, as bad as it is, as bad as the experience was, as bad as the energy was, it just so happened to manifest in a person or in a certain pattern, or you know what I mean, that you can't quite escape, and you assume, no, this person is a problem, this thing is a problem. And yes, I'm not saying that people are not malicious, that people do not play mind games, that people do not play with your heart, that people do not do evil, vile things against you. Yes, of course they do. That exists, obviously. The thing is, what you give attention to, you enhance, or you make bigger, or you that focus brings it more into your life. So I don't focus on those things for that reason. I'm not trying to attract more of what I don't like, of what I don't see as good. Instead, I'll recognize a bad behavior, a bad pattern, a bad experience, whatever it is, something that did not feel good, something that didn't go well for me, something that really taught me a lesson, and take that lesson within and make my own peace with that outside of the person or situation. Figure out, how do I mitigate that energy, the energy in itself. So if someone betrays you, oh, you can say, I'll never trust again. Or you can say, what led me to be betrayed? What boundaries didn't I have? What discernment was necessary to recognize what was coming, or who, or how, or you know what I mean? Because I understand it's not about predicting and stopping people at the gate, because you want to give everyone, look, is that a caterpillar? Yikes. It's kind of fast. Slow down, bud. Okay, slow down, bud. It might be a message for some of you. Anyway, so with that being said, I don't like to focus too much on karmics, because the more you do, and that's why, like, it's sad because you have readers that do that, and they'll put all their energy into talking about how this person did them dirty, and how they're gonna pay, and how they're gonna go to hell, and how, ooh, they get like this joy out of all the punishment this person's gonna get. It's that sinister feeling of vindicated, or wanting the vindication. But that's ego. That's a desire for harm. That's a desire for pain, because of the pain you've experienced, because of how, oh, that person made me feel so terrible. I hope they feel that bad too. That's what that is. And although on a human level, yes, we do feel that. On a human level, we do want people to pay for what they've done, because it's not fair, or it's cruel, or it's evil, vile. All of those things, it feels like, wow. Because when you're vulnerable and you love, or you give, or you trust, you're open, and you feel that betrayal. It's like, fuck, how did that happen? How did that person get to me? How did I let that happen to me? And it's not about blaming ourselves either. But when we say, how can they do this to me? How can they? Look, check this out. Hold on. We are too blessed to be stressed. We sure is. Okay, let me stop. All right, anyway. So yeah, I don't focus on what they did and how they did that to me and how they hurt me and how I'm a victim of what they did to me. It's not to lessen my experience. It's not to say that it didn't happen. It's not to put it in the back burner and say, oh no, I'm perfectly happy and I'm perfectly fine with it. No, but it's, what's the point? I can blame you and I mean, if I stay stuck on blaming anybody for whatever's hurting me, who's in the hurt energy as long as I'm doing that? Me. That other person could be not even a thought in their mind. They completely forgot about the whole thing, like it never even happened as far as their reality is concerned. But that's not your concern to have, because trust and believe, everything that's done shall be done unto you. That's a freaking fact of life. So, am I God? No. Am I supposed to vindicate myself from perpetrators and blah blah blah? Not in the way that most people would want to. Most people would want to be like, send the cavalry, destroy them, take them all down, whatever. And it's like, yeah, that would really make my ego feel good for a little while. Yeah, okay, you got your revenge. Yeah, okay. So now what? Now what? Honestly, because once you did it, now you have to let it go to rest. Now you have to let it go. It's like, okay, so now you got to deal with what you've done. Now you got to face. Because if you don't have that to hold on to, that pain, that suffering, if you're not able to process that, then you're stuck with what you created. Sorry. Someone was taking photography. I don't want to get in their way. Okay, I'm on the other side of the park. So, look how beautiful. Isn't that lovely? I swear it feels, let me stop what I was talking about for a second and just talk about, if you've ever watched the movie Marie Antoinette, the one with Kristen Dunst, I think her name is. Oh my god, I had never really watched it, but I do have to say the aesthetics really was amazing. The costumes, the parties, the just of the time, the attire and the way that they lived. Like this would have been in the Palace of Versailles, that backyard. And it's like, can you imagine living in that time? Just sitting on your land and just appreciating the luxury of nature and of the stillness of it's like it's timeless. So no matter what era has passed us, no matter what time has gone by, what remains is the land, the beauty of the land. And you can tear down all the buildings and structures, but the trees will grow again. The waters will keep flowing. So it's almost like, anyway. Oh, little turtle. Hi, little turtles. All right, I'll leave you guys alone. Okay, look, an alien dome. A spaceship landed in the middle of the park. All right, anyway, so we were talking about the karmics first and understanding that there's really There's just no point in focusing on a bastard that did you dirty. And I say it like that because that's what most readers focus on, is who did you dirty. And they're going to pay. And you know they're going to go to hell. And you it's like, why aren't they realizing, as you wish for others, you're doing unto yourself? And that's a hard place to be, because I'll be honest, there's some people that have been really, really cruel and have done some really, really unforgivable things. But it's not about what they have done so much as to how I deal with it and how I handle it. So it's like, most of the time, when you're hurt and betrayed, it comes from people you trusted, right? So you obviously trusted or loved them. And how can I now, in turn, treat you in that manner when I never felt that way for you? I would have never betrayed or hurt you. I would have never disrespected your family, your friend, whatever. Like, whatever it is that people do when they're cruel and evil to you. It's like, oh, so you did that to me, and in turn, I'm supposed to do that to you, but I was never in a relationship with you of that nature. I was looking out for you. I was caring for you. I was treating you with respect. I was honoring our connection, our relationship. So when you come from that space, how can you just shut all that off and suddenly become an enemy, and suddenly become a hater, and suddenly wish ill on them, and wish, like, I could never. It's like, I guess you can never say never, right? Because I'll be honest, there's been a couple of individuals in my life I've said some really harsh things out of anger. But those are the things you say out of anger in the moment. Not so much the quality of your dynamic that you had to them, or not so much the intention that you've had for them. Look, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. Ah, yes. Hold on. Give me a second. Enjoy the water. All right. So, it's like, how can I, let's say you had a partnership, a relationship, even a family dynamic. You love this person, they're everything to you, and then you find out they did something so evil, so vile, so malicious, whatever, a betrayal. It hurt you. It destroyed you. It broke you. Does harming them, hurting them, really make you feel better? Maybe in the temporary, maybe you feel like, got your back, bitch. But then what? And after that, it's like, you'll still feel like shit because you can't take it back. Like, what's done is done. The pain was already given. The pain was already there. So it's like, fuck, you gotta take that L and heal it so it doesn't happen again. And I was gonna say and forgive, but then I was gonna say and fuck that. So, and forgive and fuck that away out of your experience, and be like, okay, I'm just not going to allow this to determine for me where my life goes from now on. Some people would love to see you disabled, destroyed, and unproductive or failing at life. Think about it. This is your life. This is your chance to leave a mark. Your chance to create a legacy. Your chance to make a dent in this reality of who you are, what you bring to this realm. And I'll be damned if I would ever let any person, any human being on this freaking planet try to ever make me feel like that right isn't my right. Like, oh, I'm supposed to now wither and die out of depression because you decided to harm me, destroy me, take what was mine, take whatever it is. There are people that have suffered great loss, great, immense, unimaginable loss, and have moved beyond it, have been able to forgive the situation. It doesn't make the situation right. It doesn't take away the pain even of the loss, but it makes it where you can live with the experience and move forward in a more optimistic, more purposeful, in a more purposeful way. You could take a tragedy and turn it into purpose. You can take a pain and make something out of it. Like don't waste that potential energy. It's like that's what they would want to see you do, is to just give up, just let go, just forget about it. And you rather, well, not you rather, it's in your interest to care about your life more than anything else, to care about your happiness more than anything else, to care about your purpose more than anything else. Because when you're gone, the only thing that's there is a memory of you, or whatever you left behind in the earth realm. So it's like, what memory do you want people to have of you? Do you want people to have the memory of you like, oh, that person was a piece of shit. Oh, that person deserved to die. Oh, that person. No, you don't want that. You don't want people to like remember you in a negative way. Now, are people gonna remember you in a negative way regardless? Yeah. But that doesn't mean you go out of your way to destroy someone else out of vengeance or out of your own pain. Your pain does not justify causing another pain. It never does, no matter what. It really doesn't. Because the pain that a person caused you, they will have to answer for that in their own time, in the own way that in the way that God does for them. So that's not your problem. But with the pain you cause, consciously choosing to do that, knowing better but not doing better, will cause a consequence in your reality. And you're going to answer for that. Not because you hurt a chosen one, or you hurt this person of status, or whatever. Like, people need to get over themselves. Nobody's that special. We're all the fucking same. We were all born into a realm. We all have physical bodies. We all have a mind. We all have a heart. And we all have a soul. Whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we adhere to it or not. So guess what? Do better. Be better. Not for others. Not for the world. For you. For yourself. For your fulfillment. For your satisfaction in life. So that you can say, I did right by me. So you can say, I lived to the best of my ability. I gave the best I could. I did the most I could. Or I made a priority out of loving myself in order so that I can love others and be present for others. One thing I've noticed is, like, obviously when you're going through stuff, you can't be present for others when you're in your own hell, or when you're in your head because you're dealing with some big old issue. So it's like you end up lashing out at people, you end up, being cold or distant or whatever, however you respond to stress. And then you feel guilty, or you feel bad, or you're like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have done that, or maybe I shouldn't have talked to them like that. So eliminating those reactions, that's what you do the work for, so that you don't hurt the people that you love. So that when the people you love are hurt or going through things, you can actually support them in the best way for them. That's what we're here for, to serve one another. So anyway, that is a message. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Take care.